The wave of violence is playing out on the streets of Israel. Despite a nightly curfew, it has very little effect. What's happening is in dozens of cities throughout Israel, Arabs and Jews are facing off against each other, armed with baseball bats, metal rods. Both sides in some cities are using live weapons. They're fighting, they're clashing. People are being lynched. They're being pulled out of cars and being beaten up, beaten until they're in critical condition, hospitalized. Some people have been killed. These are tensions that are boiling over, tensions between the two sides that have been there, bubbling beneath the surface and not always beneath the surface for years, and now it's spilling out onto the streets of Israel's cities. And there's a sense, I can say, from being in one of the hottest spots on Wednesday night, Lod, there's a sense that the police are losing a grip, or don't have necessarily a grip or control over what's going on because the gangs are ruling the streets right now. Cars are being torched like the cars that you see here behind me. Businesses are being torched. And of course, people are being beat up on both sides. You have groups of extremist right-wing Jews who are busing into various cities, and they're coming in with their baseball bats, sometimes with weapons, and they're seeking out and sometimes hunting down Arabs and beating them up. As the same on the flip side, there are groups of Arab protesters who are beating up Jews, pulling them out of their cars. There is a sense of chaos, of anarchy, and again, the police are overwhelmed and aren't able to handle all of that. So you mentioned a nighttime curfew. The nighttime curfew is in word only. The effect, it's not being followed through at all. And the nighttime curfew is meaningless at this point. I might add as well, because of the tensions and what we're seeing play out between Gaza and Israel, flights have been diverted from Israel's international airport. They're being diverted to another airport on Thursday. Fear over rocket fire hitting either incoming or outgoing flights, and of sabotage at Israel's international airport.
All right, thank you, Stephanie. Now, sorry, pardon me. Noor, let me bring you into the conversation. Any response from Palestine?
Well, even though there is efforts from Egypt and other Arab countries, also the U.S. to end this Palestinian-Israeli escalation, however, it seems like this tension will not end anytime soon, as we witness both sides, Israel and the militants here in Gaza, both continue their fighting. This morning, in the early hours, we heard and saw tens of rockets being fired from Gaza towards southern Israel. At the same time, every now and then we can hear a new Israeli raids on different parts on the Gaza Strip. Only few minutes ago from now, the Israeli warplanes raided a residential building in central Gaza City, specifically in Arimal Street, which is one of the most densely populated streets in Gaza. It is like downtown Gaza. It is full of shops, bridal shops, markets, other businesses. Yesterday, the Israeli warplanes destroyed a 15-floor building in the same street. It's called Ashruq building, which damaged hundreds and tens of shops surrounding this building. So this is a very serious escalation for the Palestinian people. They are seeing and witnessing a lot of damage that have been done for 51 days in previous wars. They are seeing it happening in only 3 and 4 days. Hundreds of Palestinians have lost their homes. Injuries continue arriving to the hospitals in Gaza. The hospitals here, especially at Shifa Hospital, which is Gaza's basic medical compound, have declared status of emergency, asking people to donate blood because of the very big number of injuries arriving to the hospitals. According to the Palestinian medical sources, the number of Palestinians killed until this moment is 73 Palestinians killed, including 14 children, and more than 350 injuries have arrived to the hospitals in the past 3 days.
All right, Noor, thank you for that update. And those were our correspondents, Stephanie Freed in Jaffa and Noor Harazeen in Gaza.